Good evening and welcome to Channel 8 Sports. From East Brunswick High School Gymnasium, it's East Brunswick High School boys basketball with the Bears meeting Sayreville in a Greater Middlesex Conference Red Division game. Hi, I'm Jimmy Allinder. I'm being joined by Phil Hill. And Phil, East Brunswick really doesn't have a lot to shoot for. They're out of the state, they're out of the GMC playoffs, maybe. What's the incentive for this game against Sayreville?
I beg to differ with you. They certainly have something to shoot for. East Brunswick still has a chance for the counties. While East Brunswick's record is 6-10, the fact of the matter is they have played some of the better teams in the county, a lot tougher than anyone. The teams that losses that they have had have been in the red division. And I think the people that are going to pick out the 16 best teams in the county are going to have to take East Brunswick into consideration. You can't forget how they played St. Joe's. You can't forget how they played Perth Amboy. And you can't tell me East Brunswick isn't among the top 16 teams in the county. So getting the win here will be very important to make that case to the county officials.
That's what I was going to say. They're definitely going to need a win this evening against Sayreville. What does Sayreville present?
Sayreville speed. Sayreville presents speed. They played East Brunswick the first time and beat them by 6 points. They have a young man called Paul Thompson who's averaging about 19 points a game and just a fine all-around player. They have one of the premier three-point shooters in the county, and Chris Solar. So they're going to present some problems. They're going to put a lot of pressure on the Bears. I think the Bears' inside strength may be the difference there. The Bears are improving as the Sayreville coach, Hank Connolly, pointed out. Timmy Cannon wasn't a factor the first time that they played him. Now he's developed into a fine ball player. You got Neil Beck coming on very strong. And Kutza doing his regular job. Matt Berliner is going to be there. Kevin O'Neill steady as the day is long. So I think this team is getting better, and I think you're going to see an excellent game tonight.
Exactly, and I noticed that when Sayreville came out on the court, they are also tall, but so is East Brunswick. So it seems that the rebounding is going to be a factor too.
A big point, a big factor there, and I think East Brunswick's going to have to take care of the ball with the pressure the Sayreville guards will place on them. Bo Henning pointed out that Kevin O'Neill's turnover ratio is gotten shorter. He's handling the ball a lot better than certainly probably he did the first time that they played him, and that may be a factor, how well they're able to handle that ball.
Okay, so it is going to be East Brunswick hosting Sayreville GMC Red Division game. It's going to mean a lot for perhaps the county tournament coming up in a couple of weeks, and we're going to be coming up with the action in just a moment. Okay, we are almost set to go with action. East Brunswick hosting Sayreville in a very, very important game for East Brunswick at least. Hank Connolly, Sayreville coach, also thinks this is an important game for them, Phil, to bring Sayreville to another level, he says.
Well, it would bring them to another level. They've never made the states and the counties. Well, they haven't made the states and the counties in the same year in a long time.
Okay, we have the tip-off, and immediately Zola tries to lay it up, but it's blocked by Cannon. Tim Cannon, number 44, coming on real strong after, well, basically out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. He's just, well, he's been around, but he's confidence. You can see he's gotten a lot more confident.
Almost a steal by East Brunswick, picked off by Berliner on the rebound, and we will go to the left with East Brunswick. O'Neill to Berliner, outside shot, and he hits it, two-pointer.
And Matt Berliner already ties with the score that he had against Edison, which was just 2 points.
That was a victory for East Brunswick, important one too. Zola, nice ball handler, and this is Michael Clark. This is a veteran team for Sayreville. Clark drives it inside, looks for Thompson, who has it, and Paul Thompson lays it in. They cannot give Paul Thompson room inside to maneuver.
He's a good one, no doubt about it. Cannon took a step or two, Jim.
Yes, he did. And turnovers, of course, will be important for East Brunswick to avoid. 2-2. Just underway here at East Brunswick High School Gymnasium.
And Mike Clark and Chris Sola, two fine steady guards for the Sayreville Bombers.
Tom Kubatz, who has come on along from being a rather frail sophomore to bulking up a little bit. And again, outside shooting will be very important. So it is 4-2 Sayreville. Pass inside, tipped away.
Okay, good defense by the Bombers. And they are playing in a man-to-man right now.
Richie Kutza.
I'll take the back in zone.
Cannon.
They call that a travel.
Right, Markovic, who was somewhat of a surprise starter, came down with that but took steps. So East Brunswick retains possession. Kutza to Berliner, has an open shot, but doesn't want to take it. Good ball movement by the Bears. Berliner has it inside, won't go, and I think they're going to get Cannon over the top. Tim Cannon, his first foul.
And that's just part of Timmy Cannon being a lot more active all over the court, not just offensively, but picking up his game defensively as well.
So Sayreville will try to add to its 4-2 lead. Pass inside to Thompson, but knocked away nicely by Rich Kutza. O'Neal behind the back avoids a steal. This is Cannon. O'Neal, Cannon has an open shot, doesn't take it. Now he's open. Again, Holt pushes up. This is Kutza, pass. Again, a lot of movement by East Brunswick, Phil.
And that's Beck with the shot there.
Neil Beck inserted into the game quickly. And we've noted that he's seeing a lot of action.
He's coming on strong as well.
Right. Phil, am I correct in that he started the game, Neil
Yes,
Beck?
he did. Yes,
okay.
he did.
Right. We do not see Nick Szymanski, who's been an often starter. That one won't go. I don't even see Nick on the bench, quite frankly. Something must be wrong. Each team feeling each other out. Zola, good outside shooter, but that won't go. Kubats gets the rebound and doesn't drop. Zola almost had an open shot. O'Neal. Kutza's going to try, and he hits a three. Rich Kutza, makes it 5-4. And Richie, known sometimes for outside shooting, but...
And you notice the Bears are in the man-to-man to avoid that great outside shooting that the Bombers have. If you go to that zone, they're going to bomb over that.
Well, O'Neal tried to thread it to Kutza after the steal. So we have the insertion of Eric Phillips, who will replace Tim Cannon, and for Sayreville.
By Lau King.
Lau King, number 14, a running back on that outstanding football team
Not
for
a
the
bad
Bombers.
one either, right?
Zola drives, and I think they're going to catch
Gotta
him.
be. I'll tell you, Neil Beck paid for it, took it. You got to give him a lot of credit.
Yeah.
Bounce right back up.
I don't understand why Zola went inside. He didn't have the lane. But to East Brunswick's advantage, they get possession. Berliner. They're spread out. This is Phillips. He had a minute to get in. And I think they're going to have Beck.
Beck over the back.
Beck over the back. Okay.
And again, the Bears not allowing the Bombers to get their outside shot off. That's what killed them the first time they played. The Bombers bombing from the outside.
Well, I think they're going to be looking for Thompson as much as possible. But there he is. He's a good player. And it's a blocking foul. Beck did not quite have position, and he quickly picks up his second.
He
Phil.
picks up his second. He's seen a lot of the floor early on, too, taking those shots there. And the young man's coming out for a well-deserved rest, but must be a tough guy.
Well, you know, in this transition from being 6 or 7 to using maybe 9, 10 players, East Brunswick at least has some bench to work with.
They have some bench in their development, and Bo's thinking a little bit about next year, whether he mentions it or not. Brian Bentrovich is coming to game for Beck,
right.
And you want to get some of those younger players some of the experience.
Thompson makes 1 of 2 and ties the game 5-5. We have just under 4 minutes to go. Clock's not running. Now it is. Berliner stationed far outside. There's Kutza with position. And he bounces it off the glass. But Petrowitz gets a good rebound.
Right.
I think they're going to call King on the foul.
And Bentrovich will go to the foul line. That's Brian Bentrovich as opposed to a younger brother on
Richie.
the JV, Richie
Yeah.
Benchevich.
Okay, the foul is on Tom Kubats, number 1. Yeah, Benchowitz coming into the game.
Showing a nice touch there.
Makes both of them.
Okay, improves on that 67% average he has from the foul line.
And East Brunswick moves ahead 7-5. 3:38 in the first period. East Brunswick over top of Sayreville. That pass almost went awry. Again, they're looking for Thompson. He's the go-to guy. Berliner
Great defense.
moves him away. What do they got here? Steps?
And with 3:20 left in the first quarter, the Bombers are yet to get off an outside shot in this game, Jim.
Yeah. Okay, Cannon returns, and Kutzer will sit out. So Bo Henning, the East Brunswick coach, there's a pass, goes inside. Let's see if it's off somebody. Official says it was tipped by a Sayreville player. Correction.
Well, both officials looked at each other. I don't think they were quite sure.
Well, I saw the lead official brush his hands as if the ball went off somebody. Clark. Thompson, again, he's open. Won't go, though.
And Phillips with a big rebound.
Here comes the Bears. O'Neal, he's been in all the way. This is Phillips, almost gets away. Berliner. East Brunswick again with a rebound. And Matt Berliner having a little bit of a problem there, holding onto the ball. Markovich. Zola falls down, but he's able to pass the ball off. Nice play. This is Michael Clark. Thompson, top of the key, almost stolen again. And you can see, Phil, how they're looking to get the ball to Thompson as much as possible.
He's their leader.
Yeah.
Leading scorer for the Bombers, and you're right, they're looking to get it in his hands.
Score even at 7. 2 minutes to go in the first period.
They're collapsing down on Berliner right now. Appears to be a 1-3 zone.
Well, the problem for East Brunswick is getting the ball inside. And Cannon misses it in and out. Bears just don't seem to have the muscle.
And all the calls seemingly going to Bombers' ways right now. All the close calls.
All right. Brandon Hockman makes his first appearance. And Kutzer returns also. So it's tie score 7-7, a minute 40. Left in the first period. And Sayreville being a little bit more deliberate, spreading things out, Phil.
All right, let's go 2. Here we go.
Chris Sola, 3-year starter for the Bombers.
And Bombers trying to find an opening again. The pressure defense by the Bears.
And
Saved
ball.
by the official. He's part of the court.
Yes, he is. Tied up, I believe.
All right.
Good move, defensive play by Eric
And
Phillips.
the Bears are playing good defense right now. Not a lot of action. They don't seem to be expending a lot of energy, but they're right in the Bombers' face any place they go.
And that's what's keeping them in this game thus far. They haven't had too much success with the outside shooting on their end. Hockman tries to bounce past it, but
And Michael Clark nearly coming up with the steal.
Phil, I think you can't deny the fact that Thompson, Clark, Kubats, and Zola have all played extensively, and that's Sayreville's advantage.
That's for sure.
Hockman,
As the Bombers go back to man-to-man.
under a minute here, 7-7. Cannon hasn't been successful from the outside.
Oh, wow.
Wow, Brian Petrowitz with a real spirited rebound, puts it up, and he gets the potential three-point play.
And I talked about Brian before, coming on. He's a 6'1" junior. Has a younger brother, Rich, that plays for the JVs. Comes in, has a grade point average of 3.1.
And Petrowitz completes the three-point play, and East Brunswick has a 10-7 lead. And Kubats was the culprit on that foul, and he picks up his second.
Okay, the Bears put Kutzer going with a reverse dunk after whistle blown. One of the players on the Sayreville bench called for attack to no avail.
I believe they picked Cannon on that foul, by the way. So Cannon has 2 fouls. That might be a problem for the Bears. Kubats, bounce, no. Phillips, good strong rebound again. I think this is the type of game to Eric Phillips liking, Phil. He likes it open like this.
Likes it open, he can flow a little better, right?
20 seconds left. Phillips gets the glass.
You call that, Jim.
Okay. And East Brunswick 12-7 with 10 seconds left. Clark's going to have to get it in. And a nice play by Kutza to knock it away. So we have just 4 seconds left in the first period.
And if you're Bohannon, you got to be pleased with the defensive effort by your team thus far. They're not allowing Sayreville to have much of anything.
Cannon a little frustrated as he leaves the court. Doesn't have any points. And King gets it off, but it doesn't go. And all things considered, East Brunswick with a 12-7 lead after 1 period does a nice job. What do you think, Phil?
I'll tell you, the Bears seem to be certainly in control here, and as you said, defensively, they're just doing a great job.
Okay, well, we are going to go look at Bo Henning as he talks to his team in the huddle.
Working pretty hard defensively, okay? But you are so much better offensively than what you show. We missed too many easy opportunities. And you got to get over that, okay? Luckily, you're not carrying it down this end. You're playing fairly good defense, and that's what we got to continue to do the whole time. We're getting good shots. You keep taking the good shots when it's there. If I call 5, what do I want? If I want motion for 1, what do I want? The last shot, okay? All right. All right, defensive, we're taking the 54 off. We're just playing straight 22 right now, okay? All right, come on, let's go.
All right, Henning reinforcing in his team's mind that they need to take the good shots down on that side of the board.
And wants them to get a little more active offensively. He feels they're doing a great job defensively, but wants them to do a little bit more offensively.
Sayreville, meanwhile, is going to have to find a way to penetrate this East Brunswick man-to-man defense. East Brunswick appears to match up very, very well with Sayreville thus far.
And I'll tell you, they call a foul there on Rich Kutza. I guess you got to wonder, Bo Henning doesn't jump up too often. But,
well, it is Richie's first foul.
Yeah, it clearly appeared to just simply go off the Bombers' hand.
Clark, he's matched up against Phillips. Good steal by Kutza.
Here comes
and
the jam.
watch this one, folks.
Oh, I love it.
There you go. And a nice 2-point.
And I'll
shot
tell you,
accentuated by
that's got the crowd in the game. You got 2 guys in the stands doing the wave right now. So.
And East Brunswick now 14-7. They're really starting to pull away from Sayreville.
And that was a deep transition basket off the defense.
Zola in and out,
And
won't go.
Phillips with his 3rd big rebound there.
I'm telling you, this is as active as we've seen Eric in quite a while. A nice lineup for East Brunswick right now. They seem to be matched very well with each other. Kareem Glover, by the way, is in. That's him with the ball. Kutza, nice turnaround, and it goes in. And I'd have to think that Sayreville is going to have to call a timeout.
I think you're right, Jim.
So there you have it. I should say that we do not have a microphone on Hank Connolly, the Sayreville coach, but what do you think he's talking about?
I think he's saying, guys, you got to get your heads into the games. We're not doing anything offensively, and we're going to have to create something. Hank Connolly, a very knowledgeable coach, his 4th year there at Sayreville, and quite frankly, he says, we've done a lot better than people have expected us to be. This is the first time we're going to the States in a long time, and conceivably, the first time we could be going to the counties as well, states and the counties at the same time.
Phil, I think you need to mention the fact that 2 of the better athletes in the school, DJ Cleary and Harry McKelney, who were good basketball players, decided not to come out.
And Hank Connolly didn't want to do a whole lot of talking about it, but clearly he was shocked about it. He said what they provided were things that are missing for this team a lot. His leadership, strength inside, and tenacity, and not that they don't have it, but they don't have it in as abundance as they would have had with those two guys.
And exactly, and these were two all-state football players who led their teams, and I think the most revealing point that Connolly said is that there are an awful lot of Division I football players playing basketball in the county.
It clearly grates him, but he didn't want to get into it too deep.
Okay, so now Sayreville trying to put the pieces together. They're down 16-7. King loses the handle, I think. Yes, he does.
Again, and that's just dogging them all over the courts, and that's exactly what's happening right now.
So you have a nice sequence here for the Bears.
And you got Chris Sola, 14-point scorer for the Bears, who shot 7 of 8 the last time these two teams meet, and he has not put up a point yet.
Hockman with the ball. Glover drives inside. I think he loses the handle, though. And it does. Go off an East Brunswick player, Richie Klitza, and Sayreville will try again. Second period. 6 minutes left. East Brunswick 16-7. There's another pass that went the other way.
And they're just out of sync. And probably if you could put a mic on Connolly right now and ask him what the problem, he might say Saturday. He might say Saturday afternoon is the problem.
I think it's snowing outside, too. That has something to do with it.
He, like John Miserak, doesn't particularly like to be playing these Saturday afternoon games. But the fact of the matter is, it's here, and you got to get your head into the game and play.
So East Brunswick, O'Neill behind the back. Phillips. He's looked very impressive. As has everyone in this team. This is the best ball movement I've seen from East Brunswick. Berliner. East Brunswick being patient.
Yes.
And Berliner knocks it home from the foul line.
Okay, his second basket of the night.
And it's 18-7 East Brunswick.
The Bears are just dominating right now in every phase of the game, without a doubt.
And mind you now, this is not a bad Sayreville team. They are 8-7 and have played some good teams
And
well.
Phillips again with a rebound.
Glover.
Ooh, and he's hacked.
Knocked
He's
hard.
hacked and he's racked and he's down.
And Thompson, I think, is the one that's going to get it.
And you take a good look at Kareem Glover there, and I guess the game before last, we saw Kareem Glover come up with the big steal
Against Woodbridge.
to seal the game for the Bears. He's down right now, but I think let's hope the young man's all right. He did hit his head against that wall as he did go down.
All right, it looks like we're going to need a substitution here. They're taking time with Kareem.
And it appears to be his elbow, Jim.
Well, obviously, him being the recipient of the foul, he will have an opportunity.
No, it is his head. It is his head getting the elbow in the head. You see Super Phil Hostler there. Phil having won a Mid-State Award himself. What was it, Jim? Trainer of the Year or something?
Yeah.
And he's, what a big plus to have him around anytime.
Well, it looks like Glover is going to have to leave the game, I guess. It looks like Cannon had already reported to the score table. So, well, I don't know. Cannon, we know that Cannon is one of the best foul shooters on the team.
Not one of the best. He is the best foul shooter on the team at 74%.
Right. And that's 39 for 53. So those are not boarded or padded statistics.
And just as we say it,
well, this has been.
He looks like he hasn't seen a foul shot.
This has been a frustrating afternoon for Cannon, one of the few East Brunswick players to not be playing up to the level. And he finally makes one. And that's all Sayreville has to have happen is Timmy Cannon start to get his game together.
Glover trying to get Glover right back in the game. Bohaney not want to mess with success.
So it's 19-7 East Brunswick with 5:14 left in the second period.
And another
Thompson won't go. It's got to be these rims. Cannon way short.
And a nice defensive effort.
Zola, hey, he knocks home a three.
Sola coming up with a nice defensive effort on Cannon, hitting him in the middle of the stomach there. The official didn't see it. Then coming down the other end to score the basket.
Klitza, he's going to take a three, and he hits. Klitza with 10 points to lead East Brunswick scoring, and it's 22-10 as we go back and forth. Thompson left alone. He tries to drive, though.
Ooh,
and it's blocked by Klitza with a beautiful save. Here comes Cannon. He's going to take it himself.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
I'll tell you,
beautiful shot.
Just a nice touch by Timmy Cannon.
And
Driving
East
full
Brunswick.
length of the court and putting it up with the scoop shot.
And it's 24 to 10. Goes through Kubatz's
And
hand.
it's
He
the Bears ball.
wasn't expecting it. And another timeout's going to be called.
And Conley's got to be upset because, again, they don't seem to be in sync at all.
24 to 10 with 4 minutes left. Sayreville takes its second timeout. And it would be interesting to see what Bo has to say.
Did you call timeout?
He just
All right.
realized that it is a timeout.
Okay, now, in this situation, you got to be heads up for pressure, right? Okay, watch for their pressure. Keep working hard on D. I don't want to see a lot of switching down here. If you get up to the ball, you shouldn't have to. They got the 3 big guys in, which means they're going to try and pound it inside, which also means they're not going to get back defensively. And if you run hard, you're going to get good opportunities. Okay? All right, let's go. Keep up the D. Come on, keep up the D, fellas. 1, 2, 3, team.
That was an astute observation. He did note that Sayreville's going to be pressing to get the ball inside to Thompson, as they have, and that's going to create opportunities on the other end of the
That's
court.
for sure. Bo, again, doing a whale of a job coaching as he always does.
So East Brunswick up 24 to 10. We'll try to extend this lead. This is O'Neal. Bounce pass, but it goes off a leg, I thought. Zola is going to take it again, and goes off the rim. I think it's off Thompson.
And it seemed like every disputed ball is seemingly going to the Bears. And
O'Neal drags his foot, but they don't call it. Glover, Berliner.
and nobody wants to shoot right now.
Phillips was open briefly. But this is the patient offense that East Brunswick can afford. Berliner. And they catch him on the steps. Betruwitz was open too. East Brunswick is definitely getting people open inside now.
They're getting open. They looked a little reluctant for anybody to shoot at that time. And if you got the open shot, you got to take it.
Clark. Zola.
A fourth shot.
Air ball. But Thompson follows up.
Okay, Sola with the fourth shot. Paul Thompson happened to be there.
And it's 24 to 12. Phillips. Inside move.
Ooh.
Won't
And
go.
it's still the Bears' ball.
And it was King that tried for the rebound and forced it out. Bounce pass inside to Phillips. Berliner. Not a particularly adept outside shooting team for East Brunswick on the court at this point, but Henning has been using a lot of people. Almost a steal.
Okay, Bilal King getting a hand on the ball, slapping it out of bounds. But I tell you, the name of this game seems to be defense and lack thereof. Sayreville doesn't seem to be playing with great emotion at all, and that's a backcourt. No, they were already backcourt. So.
Phillips. No. Berliner. Thought he walked on that one.
And he got hacked. Berliner coming up with just about an impossible shot. Fortunate to draw the foul.
And who are they going to call on this? Thompson, I believe they have him. That's his second foul. I thought so. So Sayreville with Kubatz and Thompson 2 fouls. Beck and Cannon 2 fouls for East Brunswick. And Berliner misses. As we've noted many, many times, foul shooting can be a problem for East Brunswick.
Matt Berliner just a 51% shooter from the foul line, and he's going to have to sink this one to maintain that average.
And that one bounces out, but look at Betruwitz with the rebound. Good, strong rebound again. Glover forces it inside, blocked. Betruwitz fouled. And a nice sequence for Brian Betruwitz.
I'll tell you, he's hustling all over the court, and you got Kubatz, Tom Kubatz on the foul there. Petrovich will go to the foul line to shoot 2.
I think you can say the whole Sayreville team, excuse me, the East Brunswick team has been hustling. And that's the reason for the difference in this game, 24 to 12. And Kubatz was the one who fouled, and he picks up his third, and so he sits. Betruwitz.
And as you look at him, I tell you, I like Petrovich's aggressiveness. he's been awfully strong off the boards, and right now he has 7 points.
7 points on 5 for 5 from the foul line. I don't think we should make small note of that one.
That's for sure.
And East Brunswick's up 26-12, its biggest lead, 14 points.
Oh, it's just incredible the way the Bears will not allow the Bombers to get anything offensively.
And Thompson fell on that one, and he's limping slightly. And Sayreville is totally confused right now. Almost a steal by King. It's one of the rare times we've seen a lot of hustle from the Bombers.
Solar's taking a break as you get Rob Markovitz coming back in the game, a 5'9" sophomore.
This is Kutza. He's been playing very well this afternoon.
He almost carried it.
Glover to Hockman. Pass inside to Kutza. They're going to call 3 seconds, I believe.
We haven't seen too many of them this year, Jim, where 3 seconds. But apparently, standing in the lane too long, and Matt Berliner will come back in the game.
And quick finger by Mike Palumbi. Sounded the buzzer before Berliner even got off his chair.
It's good to see Mike, and we got a few words about him a little bit later.
And a trap right here. Zola way out, but Thompson gets the rebound. And I think they're going to get who?
O'Neal, I believe, reaching in.
No, it's Petrowitz.
Petrowitz, okay.
Brian, first foul. And that's 6th-team foul. So it's non-shooting. King, he's a sophomore.
Oh.
What
an effort by Kevin O'Neal.
You can't ask for more than that.
And that typifies the great hustle and great defensive effort that the whole entire Bear team has put on this evening here. And you got to like it.
And it's the reason for this 26-12 lead for the Bears as they strive to impress the powers that be that are going to make decisions on the GMC tournament.
Oh.
Zola is, he's just off.
Just a forced turnover once again, and the Bombers are just totally out of sync.
Excuse me, that was Markovich that made that errant pass. And we have but a minute left in the second period with the score 26-12. Kutza to Berliner. Kutza, is he going to go with it? Yes. And he hits. Richie Kutza, 12 points now.
I thought that was a 3, but it's a 2, Jim.
Yes. 28-12, East Brunswick. 40 seconds left. Thompson inside to Clark.
Another turnover.
Didn't have anybody to pass to, so he got rid of it. And East Brunswick could hold for one shot here. 25 seconds left. And a steal by Clark. Pickett.
And one of the few times where the Bombers get the best of the Bears offensively. We talked about taking care of the ball, and Kevin O'Neal's done a fine job.
Whoa.
Up to that point, 2 turnovers in a row for Kevin, and you see Bo scowling a little bit. That's what he does not want to happen.
Well, they pressed it when they didn't have to, and now 3 seconds. 1, 2. It doesn't go. Clark looking to try to get the foul, but it doesn't go. And so after 2 periods, halftime, we're 28-14. And Phil, this is a very important and impressive effort for East Brunswick.
An extremely impressive effort by East Brunswick. And if you're Bo Henning, you see him slapping O'Neal on the bottom there after a few words of wisdom. But if you're Bo Henning, you got to be extremely pleased with this first half. They've taken it to the Bombers, both offensively and defensively.
All right, and of course for Sayreville, they're having all kinds of problems with their defense. Defensive in East Brunswick not making the right passes, and it's fortunate for the Bears that they're able to get out to this 28-14 lead. Okay, so that's where we're at, halftime. East Brunswick 28, Sayreville 14, and we're going to take a break, and we'll be back with the second half action in just a moment. Okay, we return to East Brunswick High School Gymnasium where the Bears lead 28-14 over Sayreville. And as you look at the screen, you will note in the white and black hat, Farnell Johnson, and that's his father who has just left him. Farnell making the rounds now, Phil.
Farnell, of course, signing with Rutgers, and a big pickup for Rutgers. As we pointed out, I think he's going to be a fine addition to the Scarlet Knights.
Exactly. Farnell Johnson, in some circles, being considered to be moving into a starting position for Rutgers after having finished a fine season for Milford, Connecticut Academy, playing 1 year up there. It was a good move on his part.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so East Brunswick likely to continue doing the things that they have in that first half, and Sayreville going to try to find some way to score more points and deny East Brunswick. I suspect that Thompson's going to be an important part of that for the Bombers. Cannon, he'll go, and he's been off, but O'Neill, and I'll tell you what, Kevin O'Neill, a guard, getting a rebound and putting it up.
Underneath the boards there with the big guys.
And East Brunswick now 30-14. Yeah, it was Kutza who pushed King.
Okay, and it has to be a foul.
And Rich Kutza, leading scorer in this game with, I believe, 12 points. Picks up his second foul to start this second half.
And a timeout for a official timeout for a shoestring tie-up.
There we go. Michael Clark. Kubats, who's been seeing limited action because he picked up his third foul early in the second quarter. Zola pulls up and it's blocked.
Cannon.
By Timmy Cannon. And if Sayreville's going to come up, they're not going to have to do. They can't do it by themselves. O'Neill bounce pass. Won't go. East Brunswick hard to the boards. Sayreville should have a break here. And King puts it in. Nice.
I'll tell you.
Scoop shot.
Bilal King driving the entire court.
So it's 30-16. Sayreville desperately trying to nibble at this lead. Terliner back to the basket. Nice inside move that leaves Kubats in his shoes.
Matt Berliner, his third basket of the night. A strong one.
32-16, 6:40 left in the third period. Clark to Thompson. He has nowhere to go, so he turns around and shoots it. And a block out. Sayreville gets the rebound. Cannon in the corner. He's going to go to the hoop. They're going to catch a foul, yes. And I guess it's Kubats. So he's going to have 4. Who do they have here? It is on Kubats, number 4.
And as you look at Timmy Canning going to the line, he comes in this game off a 20-point effort against Edison. So Timmy Canning just has picked up his game. And I asked Bo Henning about Timmy Canning, and he quite frankly, he said he thinks Timmy looked around after the first half of the season and said, hey, I'm just as good as anybody out there, and I can play this game. And that's what he's been doing for a good part of the second half of the season.
I'll tell you something else about Timmy Cannon. He isn't shrinking. I think he's grown since the beginning of the season. And he sinks 2 foul shots, and it's 34-16, 18-point lead for the Bears. This is their biggest margin. 6.5 minutes left in the third period. And this has been a fine effort by the Bears thus far. Connolly's leaving Kubats in with 4 fouls, Phil.
And a little disgust on Paul Thompson's. He's just getting totally frustrated because it's got to be a frustrating game for him.
It wasn't exactly a great pass.
Wow, a tough call. You've got to be careful, young man, or you get the tech. A tough call, though. Appeared that Mike Clark had slapped the ball out of the Bears' hand, and he's called for the foul.
All right, so Beck now will inbounds. O'Neill looks to the basket, and it finds its way in.
Kevin O'Neill with the Globetrotter shot there. Just a nice move, and he's been rather impressive all around today.
So it's 36-16. Cannon, fast move.
And he's hacked.
And Zola, that's a frustration foul more than anything
and we've
else.
been talking about frustration, and clearly the Bombers are totally frustrated at this point in time. Again, transition baskets, transition opportunities, I should say. Bears have been playing great defense and turning it into offensive opportunities.
All right, Cannon with 5 points thus far. And that one will not go. Timmy takes foul shooting seriously. Second one does go. So 37-16, East Brunswick 21-point lead. We should mention that Sayreville, if it can get its game together, does have the ability to score.
Well, they'll start throwing up those three-pointers sooner or later if they can get some breathing room. Thus far, they haven't had any breathing room.
So we see number 13, Dennis Coyle, make his first entry into the ball game. John Quinzel, number 52, is in for Kubats.
And it goes off Kevin O'Neill, I believe, and the Bombers will retain possession.
Tied him up again, almost.
I'll tell you, the defense is just...
Phil, you know, I have to ask, is it the opponent that causes East Brunswick to not play this way every... I mean, you know, it's an obvious question, but it seems that they're taking a good team right to the hole, and they're playing with that aggressiveness, and that's the deciding factor so far. Just that sequence on Paul Thompson.
I don't know. I just think anytime we've had an opportunity to see him here at home, they seem to turn it up a notch no matter who they're playing, and that form is holding true today. They're just being awfully tough.
16 points for Sayreville. We're in the third quarter, and that really spells out their effort.
When you consider they average 55 points a game, Jim, tells you what kind of game they're having. They look rather lackadaisical. They're becoming very frustrated. They haven't been able to get anything going offensively.
By the way, Beck picked up his third foul, and he sits. Thompson misses both.
And that's the type of day it's been.
Well, knocked away by O'Neill. That was King had nowhere to throw it. This is Cannon. He's going to take it. 3-point.
Ooh.
No, it's a 2. His foot must have been on the line.
Okay.
And it's a timeout time with a 39-16 score.
Just utterly incredible.
And all Bo Henning has to do is smile. Or we'll listen to him.
All right. Your defense, your pursuit of the ball is very good. You got to keep it up, okay? Block out on the foul shot, all right, and pursue the ball, all right? If I call for 52, it's only a real temporary thing. It's a quick one trip maybe 2, all right? And it'll be cuts on the point. We got everybody where they should be. And you stay in it for that series only. If I call 52 or half-court trap, okay? All right, keep pushing the ball. You know, sometimes they yell at you about the head's going down, you know, when things ain't going well. There's some guys in blue shirts with the head down right now. Bury the suckers, okay? Let's go, come on. 1, 2, 3, team!
Take no prisoners, huh, Phil?
You heard him. He just put it to him quite bluntly, and he's absolutely right. The Bombers do have their heads down, have taken themselves out of the game, and once something like that happens, the game's over.
It's nice to be on the receiving end of something like this.
And Bo's making the point of bearing because he wants an impressive victory again, wants to impress the proper people to consider them for that county tournament. You don't want to be labor a point, but it happens to be a fact.
All right, so with 4:35 left in the third period, 39-16, East Brunswick commanding lead. Oil was going to go up with it, but he hesitated and he called. Oh boy, I'll tell you what, this is really something.
I'll tell you.
Berliner inside to Petrowitz.
Ooh.
Amazing that he had as much time as he did. Again, rebound. Finally, Thompson comes up with it. Almost looks like he's going to lose the shorts, Phil.
And Solar's going to take a 3 in a minute, no doubt about it.
They got to do something. Dennis Coyle, who is finding it difficult to get a pass off. That's the defense that we've seen all afternoon for the Bears. Inside. Wenzel went up.
And Matt Berliner called on the foul there.
That's only Matt's first foul, by the way. East Brunswick not in any difficult foul trouble.
And Quisnell, Josh Quisnell, you take a good look at him, 6'6", junior, and he'll be back for these Bombers. And Connolly talked about just developing some of these younger players.
Quisnell puts it in. Well, they got to do something to get to neutralize East Brunswick off the boards. And Quisnell puts them both in. So it's a 39-18 game.
Okay, as Neil Beck comes in and Matt Berliner takes a rest.
Matt with 6 points in the game. Kutza, the leading scorer, 12 points. Back to Cannon. Petrowitz, Kutza. Knocked away from him. And it goes out of bounds. East Brunswick retains possession.
And
so Connolly will bring in Kubats, who has 4.
And they tell you, the Bear players have a rare treat. They have the Lady Bears just walked in the house and to watch them for the next quarter or so. That doesn't happen too often because usually they're playing at the same time.
Great pass.
And a good block by Quisnell. We just talked about him, the 6'6" and he came up with a big block right there.
Well, I'll tell you what, if he's 6'6", so is Neil Beck, Phil, because they're about the same size. Here's a pass to Cannon. He gets it. Knocked away, and it will go out of bounds. So with 3:21 left in the third period, East Brunswick 39-18 over Sayreville. A Red Division game, GMC. Back to Cannon. Hasn't scored from the outside a lot. Kutza. All right, around the horn for the Bears. Kutza's going to try to thread his way through, but I think he's hacked.
And he's hacked. And the Bears are in no big hurry, Jim.
Right.
They want to take some time off that clock and take good shots when they take them now. They're up by 21 points with 2:57 left in the third quarter.
All right, they say that King fouled on that play. That's his first. It's the 4th team foul for Sayreville. After 6, you shoot the 1-and-1. Cannon. Nudged by Zola. Nobody there. And another thing to say about East Brunswick, they have been very, very deliberate. Here's Cannon.
3.
Won't go, though. Sayreville can't afford Kubats inside, and he puts it home. One of the few times that Sayreville has managed an inside shot successfully.
And just the second basket for Tom Kubats tonight.
And it's 39-20 with 2:21. Beck
Walks.
shuffle steps.
No doubt about it.
Sayreville attempting to make a little bit of a run here.
And Hockman coming out as Anil comes back in.
It's a trap. Zola turns around, shoots the 3-pointer. O'Neal comes up with it. Here come the Bears. Zola fouled more than anything to stop that fast break.
That's for sure.
And Chris picks up number 3.
And the Bears will take it out on the side.
Inbounds to O'Neal. This is Cannon. Kutza. Nice look inside, but it won't go. O'Neal off the
put it
board.
up and it was tipped.
This is King. He'll take a 3-pointer. Rebound. I think they're going to get Thompson or what? Well, they say Kutza was the one
It's
that.
over the back of Thompson.
So Ritchie picks up his 3rd foul. and a non-shooting foul. So Sayreville will inbounds. They need points, and they need them quick. Steal, no, goes back to King.
Look at the defense. Look at the defense.
They are playing well. Zola nowhere to go. What do they have here?
And it's the Bombers' ball.
Okay.
Apparently Beck stepped on the line when getting the rebound.
Minute 25 left in the third period. It's still 39-20. We haven't had much scoring in the last couple minutes.
Oh, switch your matchup with him. Take 10.
And Phillips, who we noted played a very, very aggressive game in the first half, comes back. Tipped away by Kutza. Thompson. King's gonna go. And he hits. Below King, that's his second field goal, has 4 points. And it's 39-22. East Brunswick by 17. Slowing down the pace a bit. Kutza to Phillips, had the shot up, but he decides to pull up. East Brunswick, of course, in no hurry here.
And you got to believe they'll play for one, Jim.
Very well could, unless the back door is open. Petrowitz to O'Neal. Ball very rarely touching the ground. This is Kutza. Bounce pass to O'Neal, but he'll take it out. There we go.
And they're definitely playing for that one. They had an opportunity there, brought it back out, Jim.
30 seconds, 23 seconds now.
Oh, they called it travels. Said that Beck moved that pivot foot there. I tell you, they had the Bomber practically had him wrapped around him, and Bo doesn't agree.
Well, several. This is their opportunity now to whittle at this lead. They've had a number of opportunities, and I think they're going to call Phillips now.
That's a chintzy one. That's a real chintzy one. Call Phillips there with the body, and
so Eric picks up his first foul, 15th foul for the Bears. And we have but 10 seconds left to go in this third period. 5, 4. Thompson, I don't think he realizes there's no time on the clock. You know, he had the shot, Phil, and he passed it up.
He had the shot. I think he's just, as you pointed out before, frustration, and he's been taken out of his game. Just a good effort.
And with that tip by Kutza, that wastes the last second on the clock, and Sayreville does not get an opportunity. And so East Brunswick comes away with a 39-22 lead after 3 quarters.
And the Bears are clearly in control, Jim. I tell you, while we got a little time here, I'd like to mention the fact that we're often getting the scoops here. We've gotten scoops lately on several occasions.
Sure.
And we certainly want to talk about the fact that Mike Palumbi, dearly beloved Mike Palumbi, who's always been a great part of this East Brunswick program here, is going to have a great honor bestowed on him on March the 7th. The Central Jersey Football Foundation, the Bill Denny chapter, is naming him to receive their Distinguished American Award. And I can tell you, they've had some really distinguished people receive that award. So Mike will be in fine company, and I think a well-deserved award for Mike Palumbi.
Great, and Mike, a former All-State basketball player.
That's right, and former Postmaster General here in East Brunswick, and
great humanitarian.
And really, and Mike's not big on awards, but did say he will accept this one.
After some cajoling by his family. Okay, so we are in the fourth quarter now. Knocked away.
And I tell you, and that's been the story all night, all day for the Bombers. Anytime they try to do anything, the Bears are there defensively to create havoc.
So East Brunswick with a seemingly comfortable 39-22 lead. Thompson, and they're going to take chances, obviously. Ooh. And I think they got Kubats here. Yeah, that's his 5th foul. Well, he had to do it. 6th team foul for the Bombers. Next one will be a 1-on-1. And I think this is a game that Tom Kubats would like to forget. Finishes with 4 points. East Brunswick in a weave. Cannon, though, will take it. Had the range, but just wouldn't go. Thompson elects to drive it inside. It's blocked.
And I tell you, Ritz Kutza getting up, slapping it away.
Richie Kutza with 12 points. I'll tell you what, Phil. He shows flashes of being a really excellent basketball player.
Well,
certainly one that can play college
Well,
ball.
we talked about that earlier in the season, and I agree with you.
Here he is against Thompson again. This time Paul comes through.
And Thompson with the fall away. Thompson's 9th point of the night.
9th point, and it makes it 39-24. And East Brunswick's going to have to put a couple points on the board just to keep things going for them. Ball goes off O'Neal, but Cannon comes up with it. East Brunswick a little dry spell here, but they can afford to be.
And we got a blocking foul on Mike Clark.
And I believe that's a 1-on-1 now.
And I tell you, as Kevin O'Neal goes to the line, Bo Henning speaking about him, talking about the great job that he's done all year, handles the ball 95% of the time for the Bears, and has really cut down on his turnover ratio. So he's been a good leader for this Bear team.
O'Neal short on the first one. And foul shots could be important. Thompson drives inside again. Can't let him do that too much.
And I'll tell you, a nice strong move by Thompson.
And what was a 20-plus margin for East Brunswick.
Bo Henning doesn't like what he's seeing right now and smartly calling the timeout to set the troops right.
39-26, 6:30 left in this game.
What kind of defense was that? What kind of defense was that? One move to the basket, layup, nobody rotating, nobody stepping in. You know what? Getting a little frustrated on this end, you brought it right down there to the important end, didn't you? All right, come on now. We're in the one-on-one, so are they, so we have to play real sound defensively, okay? In the offensive end right now, let's run an invert away from Matt. Run an invert away from Matt, and if we can swing it, you're going to play the bottom spot now. Okay, the bottom spot.
Defensively.
No, he's still on Thompson. He's still on, you're in a big guy. 52. Yeah, the big guy. Big guy. Yeah, Neil will go on 14. Okay.
Come on,
All right, let's go.
Get some intensity.
I'll tell you, man, he's a wake-up call for the Bears there, and Bo doesn't want to slip it away. It's just a 13-point lead, Jim, with 6 minutes and 30 seconds ago. And when you have that ability that the Bombers have from the outside, someone like Solar, if he should get hot, and he is a streak shooter with the threes, anything can happen. Paul Thompson certainly has turned up his game.
Okay, so this is O'Neal. Suddenly a little more interest in this game. Kutza. Cannon. Almost thrown away. What do we have here? Well, they say that Quencel nudged somebody.
It had to be one of the big bodies down below.
And
it was Berliner.
Berliner who will go to the line. Matt, just a 51% shooter, so needless to say, these are opportunities that East Brunswick has to cash in on. And he hits the first. So East Brunswick breaks a string here of about 10 points that Sayreville ran off. Makes it 40-26. Berliner hits the second one. Those were two important foul shots. And East Brunswick now 41-26. 6 minutes and 10 seconds left in the game. Bears holding this edge over the Bombers.
Oh, wow.
Clark was hammered there, and he stays down.
He is down. And the officials finally call a timeout. Paul Thompson coming up the basket, but as you see the young man, Mike Clark, a 5'8 junior, averaging about 10 points per game, pops right up. But he took a hard hit, and that's an official timeout.
Okay.
And the ball will belong to the Bears off to the side.
So it looks like Clark will have to sit down, probably momentarily. I think he's probably irritated more than anything else that the foul wasn't called, Phil.
And he was hacked.
So it's 41-28.
Ooh.
Kutza, and he stepped on the line.
Okay, O'Neal going for the alley-oop. And
Am I right? Did that ball go in for Clark?
no, it didn't go in for Clark, but Paul Thompson put it back
Okay,
up.
I'm sorry, I didn't see that. So it's 41-28. And Clark was
And
back
his foot
in.
went out of bounds, slid out of bounds, without a doubt.
So Sayreville desperately trying to get this lead under 10 points.
But the fact of the matter is during the game, Jim, considering how they played, that's something to be said.
Well, it will be up to East Brunswick to hold Sayreville off. Quinzel knocks it away.
Okay, reaching over Beck's back to knock it away. No foul called. The Bears will maintain control.
This is Neil Beck to Berliner. Rather tall lineup for the Bears in right now. Cannon to O'Neal. This is Kutza. Faked it like he was going to go. Cannon will shoot it.
And he's tipped.
And it was tipped away, but Cannon comes up with the rebound. In and out. Beck.
Yes.
And he puts it home. Neil Beck with his first 2 points.
I'll tell you, Neil Beck scoring 18 points against Edison
Thompson.
early this week and came up with a big basket there.
And I think Sayreville's going to have to foul pretty soon. No. O'Neal was tripped, I believe. They didn't call it.
Ooh. And,
Clark takes an eye.
took a finger to the eye there, and Mr. Clark's had a rough afternoon.
And I think they're going to call Clark on the foul.
I don't think I thought they just stopped the action. I don't know if they called the foul, Jim.
Well, look
Oh,
who's
they
on
did
the
call
line.
the foul, okay.
Foul is called on Quinzel. Not sure how he was nailed with it. And that was not a good sequence for the Bears. You do not want them to go down and on the foul line to stop the clock and get points on the board.
And I think they got Mr. Cannon on that one.
Indeed, they did.
Timmy Cannon's third foul, and you got Paul Thompson going to the foul line.
Well, Cannon has been aggressive on the boards. Thompson misses an important shot. And the ball bounces off an East Brunswick player.
I'll tell you, things aren't going the Bears' way right now.
Bertowitz tried to get in the game, but he couldn't. There's Thompson. He has an uncontested layup.
And Thompson just demanded that ball. That's his
15, I believe.
15
Yeah.
point.
Okay.
4 below his average.
And it's 43-30. Again, the Bears shouldn't be in any hurry.
Okay, over the back with Snell over Berliner, who will go to the foul line once again.
Right, and Matt missed his last one-on-one opportunity.
Matt Berliner, I believe, 3 for 5 from the foul line, 2 for 5 from the foul line tonight.
Yes.
And these are important baskets, and certainly wants to make these.
Won't go. He looked uncomfortable on that, too.
And here's Kutza with a big rebound.
And a steal by Balil King. Takes it himself, left-hander.
And here come the Bombers.
43-32.
And they're only down 11 points at this juncture.
4 minutes left to go in the game. Again, Sayreville. Well, there's a Kutza in the middle.
I'll tell you,
Nice.
just a good
by
look by
O'Neal.
Kevin O'Neal. Mr. Assist himself, Kevin O'Neal, coming up with a big feed.
And it was a great 2 points for Richie Kutza. Important for East Brunswick. They're going to have to go here. Zola, turnaround. He hasn't had a great game, Phil.
Not at all.
And 45-32. 3.5 minutes to go.
We point out Sola with just 3 points, averages about 14 points a game, is a streak shooter, can put up the threes, has not done it tonight.
Bounce pass, stolen.
Here come the
King.
Bombers.
Takes it to the middle inside. And in and out.
And it beat the Bears ball. I thought it went off.
Looked like it went off
I
Thompson.
thought it went off Thompson.
And he wants another timeout. So it's 45 to 32. A little over 3 minutes left to go in this game. And let's go to Bo.
We on defense right now? Yeah, we're on D. You're out, Neil, report in. Get up. Now, when you receive the ball, square up and face the basket. They're playing pretty foolishly, okay? They're gambling kind of foolishly. If you'll just square up, a couple guys cutting to the basket, you have wide open layups like Kutz got, okay? But you have to be tough enough to square up and look at the basket. We got to continue to score, fellas. You can't just hold the ball for an entire quarter. Got to continue to score. And watch for a change, watch for their pressure. All right, we're in motion 5 off of a down screen, okay?
Let's go,
Need a break, Kutz?
Okay, so we're about ready for action again.
And Bo Henning making a good point that they can't stop their scoring. The Bears have to continue to score. He says the Bombers are gambling foolishly. I don't know if it's foolishly because they have to gamble to get something going.
Thompson is going to try to drive. No, he passes it off to Zola. And that's been the story for Chris Zola this afternoon.
He's just had a nightmare game today, no doubt about it.
And Sayreville will probably have to foul here. O'Neal. Cannon to Kutza.
Okay, they want to take a good shot. As you pointed out, they don't want to stop their scoring. A three-pointer, short.
Not a good shot.
And Cannon with a big rebound. And he puts it back up and down.
There you go. Okay, so it's 47 to 32. 2:24, there's a trap, and here comes another steal.
And a jam. Oh, and he caught him before he went up.
Well, I didn't think they're going to let him do that.
Well,
Phil.
you know Ritz Kutzer was going to throw it down, and
yeah.
And Mike Clark not allowing him to get off. A good foul, actually, on Mike Clark's part. And Kutziger will go to foul line to shoot 2.
And probably put this game away. I guess this one is pretty much in the bag now, 47 to 32. But not a few anxious moments there in the fourth quarter.
And Kutzer with his 15th point. I have gem of the night.
All right, we should make a note that Sidney Cannon's limping a little bit as he comes off the court. And Kutza rolls in for him. And so it's 49 to 32 with 2:15 left, fourth quarter. East Brunswick over Sayreville. Zola hasn't had a good shot all evening, I don't think. Stolen by Kutza, wasn't there.
And that's the backbreaker right there. Well, it's, for all intents and purposes, it's over anyway.
This is Glover. He hasn't seen a lot of action tonight. Betrowitz, though, elects to pull up. Kutza again.
And down.
Another O'Neal to Kutza. Pass. How many is that for Richie, Phil?
Okay. 18 points.
Okay, 51 to 32. And the bench will be empty. Boy, that just didn't find the hole for the Bombers.
And Benchovitz with a good rebound.
O'Neal. Stolen by King. He's quick.
Oh, and a good block.
It's a great block by Betrowitz. Zola takes it from somewhere
I'll just tell you.
on the other side of town.
And just the game, we know he's a good ball player, but certainly a game he'd like to forget tonight, Jim. He just hasn't had it at all. And it's just one of those games. What can you say?
He is a quality player, but
and you see the substitutes come in, and I tell you, just a fine effort by the Bears tonight.
so with 54 seconds left in the game, 51 to 32.
And I'll let you figure out who these young guys are.
Well, I have to confess that some of them I do not have on the scoreboard on my score sheet. Joe Moran is number 20. 34, we know Greg Colheim from football. 51, Justin Harper. He saw a lot of action against Perth Amboy. And number 12 is Richie Whalen. And 33 is Rich Petrowitz,
Okay, good job.
Ryan's older brother. Thompson,
And we got a blocking foul on Whalen, I believe.
right. Rich Whalen.
And no doubt about it, he's probably Katie Whalen's younger brother. I would guess.
I never made the connection, quite truthfully.
Ooh. And that's it in a nutshell. What
Really?
can you say? I mean, that is the type of game it's been for the Bombers. They just have not been in sync at all.
Okay, Whalen, we should mention, is just a freshman.
Okay, Thompson sinks the second one.
And that makes it 51-33. Here's another steal by Clark. Was trying to wait for the foul, but it wouldn't happen. Michael Clark,
And Whalen getting a baptism under fire, gets out of it.
51-35. Shot up by Harper, won't go. Follow up, and there's a foul. And it looks like Justin Harper.
Okay, Bilal King committing the foul.
Justin Harper, who did see good time against Perth Amboy last week, is a 6'6" junior. Again, not a lot of whole playing time this year.
Okay.
Puts it in though.
And a 6'6" junior with a 3.7 grade average. So if he sinks this one, it'll be 0.7 below his grade average.
I don't think they can add their basketball averages to grade point averages, Phil. And he puts both of them in. So it's 53-35, just 5 seconds left. Clark from way out hit the line, so there's just 1 second left in the game. Kohlheim. Well, this shouldn't be too scientific. No time goes off the clock. That was an exercise in futility.
And we'll have another one thrown now. No, that's right, from the spot of where it was thrown out.
Exactly. So Sayreville might be able to get a shot off. Clark to Thompson. And it's blocked by Kohlheim. And that's going to do it.
And that's the name of the story there. We just had a Sayreville player kick a chair.
So the final score, East Brunswick 53, Sayreville 35. Phil, let's talk about just exactly what the significance of this game is.
Well, we talked about it from the top of the game. We said it was an important game for the Bears to show the rest of the county that if they're thinking about teams, top 16 teams to be in that county tournament, that they deserve to be one. And as I pointed out, all the top teams, they've played terribly tough, Jim, and they got to be given some consideration for their schedule. They got to be given some consideration for the type of ability they have. And this game will go a long way towards it. They are only 7-10 right now, and it will be a tough call, but this victory certainly has to help them.
Right.
They got a tough road to hoe, so to speak, Jim, because they're going on the 9th. They're going in, and they're going to have to play St. Joe's. And while they played St. Joe's terribly tough here, losing at the buzzer, it's going to be a different thing once they are on St. Joe's home court.
Exactly. Something I wanted to say in East Brunswick's to East Brunswick's possible advantage is the fact that the GMC tries to draw in the smaller group teams. You know, in basketball, you have the red, white, blue, and gold division, okay? And those gold division, the first two teams in each division get automatic berths into the tournament,
Right.
So that could be of help. So anyway, we're going to have to watch East Brunswick for the rest of this season as it winds down. So the final score, again, 53-35, East Brunswick over Sayreville. So for Phil Hill, this is Jimmy Allinder saying, have a good afternoon.